Good morning. My name is Michelle Hilla. I'm the founder of Slingshot Designs. And today I want to talk to you about a menacing man in all of our lives. His name is Tim Woods. Tim Woods is an acronym, and it stands for the 8 types of waste that are found in a lot of manufacturing. It started off in manufacturing origins. However, when applied to our lives, they transfer perfectly, right? So I'm just going to cut through and go ahead and start digging into those 8 types of waste. And I want you to really think about during this series or this video, I want you to really think about how these 8 types of waste apply to your life, and I'll try to draw some of those parallels for you. But again, the acronym is Tim Woods. And what we're talking about are the 8 types of waste that get in your way on a daily basis. And by removing these 8 types of waste from your life, then you will be left with what's remaining out of your life will have significantly more value. This is how you remove the waste, focus on the value, right? So without further ado, the first one is transportation. Transportation is really just, it's moving items or information around, right? So where in our lives do we move information? I don't know about you, but for me, certainly electronic information comes to me in so many different forms and through so many different vessels that it can be very overwhelming. So one thing that I do in trying to synergize or streamline the information that comes to me is to set up my systems to where I'm getting information delivered directly to where it needs to go ultimately. And also that I cut out the information that I don't need. So what that looks like a lot of times is cleaning up your email accounts, unsubscribing from lists that aren't relevant to you, where you're at right now, and getting rid of some of that noise and that clutter in transportation of information and items. That there's you'll see a lot of places where things fall in multiple buckets in your life, and that's fine. It just means that they're probably at the top of what you should be cutting out of it. The next one is inventory. It's items or information that the customer that has not been received, right? So inventory, doing the inventory or looking at the inventory in your life. Look in your closet. See how many extra clothes you have, or open up your pantry and see if there aren't some extra spices that need to be kind of recycled, right? Looking at the inventory in your life, your stuff, your possessions. What do you have that you no longer need? And getting rid of that will remove waste from your life. The next one is motion, excessive movement within your place, like within your domain, right? Excessive movement. I don't know, I think a good example for me on this one, very simple example, when I go to let the dog out, do I have his like poo bags right there where I need them, right? Or am I running around trying to find my keys, right? That's a big one. Or does everything have its place, and is everything in its place? If not, you spend a lot of time running around looking for things. And so one of those huge areas of waste is in motion and trying to find things that should be where they're at. The next one, the W, stands for waiting. So that is, it's waiting for information or items to arrive before you can kind of get onto that next journey. Now, I don't mean I bought my favorite outfit and it's on its way to me, it's a waste because it's not here. That's not true. We're looking here for the times that we're waiting on things. Do we have systems set up in our lives to where, waiting is a unavoidable kind of form of waste, where we don't have the answers always to generate what we need right now, right? So a lot of times we're going to have to wait, but that doesn't mean that you can't have systems set up to handle that queue, right? So I've moved it from here to here. Now maybe it looks like having a task list. Maybe it looks like having a system in place that helps us see what we're waiting on and what the standard or what the current status is of all of those items. So we don't spend our time just waiting for days on end with no end in sight. If we can set up systems to help remind us of the things that demand our attention when we need them, when we need to be remembered, or when we need to remember them, and have them come back into our lives, so that we don't just sit around kind of twiddling our thumbs waiting for the next person to do their job. So waiting is a huge area of waste in people's lives. The next one is overprocessing. It's doing more work than necessary, right? When you clean your house, do you have a system in place, or do you just kind of tackle it as the need arises, right? Certainly having a system in place for taking care of the things that you need to take care of in your life beats doing it as it shows up and commands your attention. I don't know about you, but I'm spread in an awful lot of different areas, right? So I need to make sure that when I'm focused and doing work on one area, that I'm adding value to that area, and ideally every other area in my life at the same time. So putting systems in place that are easily transferable and scalable. You hear that word scalable a lot in business. That's kind of the buzzword for now, but keep in mind, scalable at work is also scalable at home. If you learn how to put one system in place that can grow, shrink, and expand as your life ebbs and flows, then you have a scalable system. And certainly when we're talking about, over processing, that is a system that really, like, to avoid over processing in your life, you have to have systems set up to handle things as they come to you. And then you can learn you can scale that system, make it larger or smaller, depending on how much you have going on in your life. The next one is overproduction, and it's very similar to overprocessing. Only in overprocessing, you're spending more time doing something, a task that shouldn't take you that long. In overproduction, you're doing the task more often than you need to, and it results in more product. That product may not be what you want. You may not need, how does this look at home? Making dinner, really good example, right? When you're making dinner, are you doing the steps that you need to get the food on the table? And that's one part of it, right? Are you getting the food on the table in the form and as quickly as you want it to happen? Or once the food is on the table, do you have the right amount? Did you make too much? Did you not make enough? Right? That's where overproduction comes into play. So making sure that we do it right the first time, and that we don't create too much of something, right? That's tackling overproduction. The next one is defects, right? So defect is anything that we created, that we produced, that was not done right the first time, that has to be reworked or scrapped or just like recreated, right? Anytime that we have to anything, we are wasting it. Defects are the biggest form of waste in the manufacturing world, and most certainly in our personal lives as well. If we create something and we don't create it right, we have to do it all over again. If you've ever folded laundry and had, but didn't turn it all right side out, now you're kind of stuck having to go back and do it, or you're going to have to do it as you go to put your clothes on and they're right side or they're wrong side out, right? So really getting into what processes in our lives are creating defects that we later on have to clean up. And most of us have those in our lives. So what we do is we seek continuous improvement ways to engineer that out, and we're no longer doing it anymore. A lot of those things we don't even realize until we take the time to focus on the processes in our lives that we really just kind of take for granted on autopilot, and then end up realizing that there's too much, right? One person, ourselves, we're not in an ability to do everything that we need to have taken, to do everything well. And we don't get the value and the benefit from doing it right the first time. So we really have to take the time to really process engineer our own lives and make sure that the things that we're doing and the habits that we form on a daily basis are ones that are going to help propel us to where we're looking to go. So that's defects. Now, the last one I think is the most critical, and that is skills. Have you ever taken the time to do the inventory on your skills, what I'm good at? And if the answer to that is no, it's time to do that, especially now. Now more than ever is the time to take a look at your skills, what you are good at, and keep those at the forefront of your mind. Keep honing and sharpening your skill set so that on the other side of whatever lies in front of us through this phase, this era that we're in with COVID, with quarantine, with unemployment, whatever your case may be, where you're at today, the whole world is changing around you. This is the time to focus on your skills. Do the inventory, know what you bring to the table. And it is more important and more critical today than ever before in history to know where you're at and what you're good at. Who are you at the core, holistically as a person? Not what have you been doing professionally for the last year. What makes you you? What makes you unique? What makes you a force to be reckoned with? Know that, have that arsenal of tools ready to go, and apply it in every opportunity that you get so you continue to hone those skills. This is the time to do that. So I thank you for starting off with, or for listening to this video, because this is definitely a skill development video, right? I'm teaching the 8 types of waste and asking you to do the homework. How do these 8 types of waste apply in your life? Where do you see them falling in your day-to-day operations? And do you have steps in place to start maybe doing less waste and more value added, right? Our goal throughout coaching is always continuous improvement. And what I look for in my clients is that progress. And you have to start somewhere, identify what your current situation looks like, and identify your goals, what you want life to look like. And what we do through coaching is get you from point A to point B, teach you the skills, and hold you accountable to make sure that you're doing the homework and that your actions are adding value to your end goal, right? That's the whole point of coaching. And in doing that, the types of things that we talk about are things like the 8 types of waste. Where do you have waste in your life? And so again, to go over Tim Woods, what does that guy stand for, right? Tim Woods is the guy you do not want in your home. Your goal today is to get out, kick Tim Woods out of your life in every way that you can figure out to do so, right? So again, the acronyms for Tim Woods is transportation, inventory, motion, right? And then waiting, overproduction, overprocessing, defects, and skills. Those are the 8 types of waste that you really want to start abolishing from your life, and so that you can focus on what truly matters. When you get those 8 types of waste out of your life, you will be left with what is value added. And that is what you use to kind of pull that together. That's your package, your marketing package. That's your box of resources that you can build from. Start there, right? And stay tuned. Certainly more to come. My name is Michelle Hilwa. I'm the founder of Slingshot Designs. And today, please take care of yourselves and take care of your neighbors. Thank you so much.